Welcome to the first episode of the 3D Experience in Action series that I'm going to be going through the remodeling of a kitchen using various roles on the 3D Experience platform. In this first episode, we're going to be taking a look at 3D Experience DraftSight and how it can be used. So I went ahead and did a floor plan for the entire building. However, I know it's a bit overkill considering that I'm only remodeling the kitchen. What I wanted to do was just show you what 3D Experience DraftSight was and how it can be used. If you're already familiar with DraftSight, then 3D Experience DraftSight will look almost identical and function almost identical. The main advantage to 3D Experience DraftSight is that your data is now connected to the 3D Experience platform and now connected to the cloud. So you have that data security and the ability to access that data from wherever you are on whatever device. As long as DraftSight Connected is installed onto that device, you can utilize that data and make changes and then upload it back to the Dassault System servers. So I went ahead, you can see me going through the process here, and I am not an experienced DraftSight user. I am actually only used it to make modifications here and there when I export DWGs from SOLIDWORKS. So this is my first time actually drafting something up from scratch of this kind of scale. You can see that I'm making little flukes here and there, and of course this is in real time. But I am actually moving ahead at a decent pace for someone who has never really drafted anything before, and I'm sure you guys can roast me on my techniques and everything that I'm doing wrong, but this is just going to show you what the tool is and what it can do. So you can already see that it's very similar structure in terms of layout as the desktop version of DraftSight, as well as AutoCAD. If you're an AutoCAD user, you would be able to switch over to this with ease because a lot of the tools are exact same functionality, as well as the commands. The AutoCAD typed up commands are mapped over to DraftSight, so you're able to use the exact same commands in DraftSight as you are in AutoCAD. So just to make a clarification, 3D Experience DraftSight is not actually running on the cloud, it's connected to the cloud. So you will still need the suggested computer hardware for DraftSight, as it will be utilizing your computer hardware, but your data will be streamed back and forth between the cloud. Now by the end of my process, I had the final product shown here. Now this all took less than a day, and much of the time was actually spent confirming the measurements by hand. So going through and measuring everything by hand. If you had all of that ready to go, this would go so fast, even as someone who's never really even used DraftSight before. Picking it up is very intuitive. 2D modeling does still have some advantages over 3D modeling. If you have a very experienced 2D drafter, they will be able to go with a much higher speed than 3D modeling. However, the use case may be different, so sometimes 3D modeling may be more applicable and sometimes 2D drafting may be more applicable. But if you are able to use 2D drafting, you may be able to move at a much higher pace. Plus, they all export to DWG, so you're able to export and transfer that data between similar 2D drafting programs with ease, and it's very compatible. Plus, the price tag is much lower for 2D CAD as compared to 3D CAD, and it's much more universal. So some industries may have a specific tendency towards one 3D CAD software, and other industries may have another tendency, but 2D CAD can be used across all types of industries. So if you're looking into 2D CAD, I highly recommend taking a look into 3D Experience DraftSight. Thanks for watching the first episode. In the next episode, we're going to be modeling up some of the actual kitchen components within 3D Experience SolidWorks. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe to all of our social platforms to make sure that you don't miss out on any of our newest news, updates, or even promotions that we put out.